Hey guys, I've beaten Shadow of Mordor the other day, and it's great! I found myself enjoying it a lot, despite being kinda sick of open world sandbox things. But Shadow of Mordor is such a solid game, it is really hard not to get immersed in it. It is in fact one of the best optimized and polished games I've played in recent years. And yeah, the camera sometimes takes awful angles, and yeah, the characters sometimes reacted badly to my desire to climb stuff, starting to just jump up and down in front of a wall like a dumbass. But I've spent about 18 hours in the game, and that's everything I can come up with. About the game itself though, the gameplay is great. In terms of open world fun, the only thing that compares to it really is sailing in Assassin's Creed 4, and all thanks to rock solid Arkham style combat. Killing in this game never stops being satisfying, which is a great argument in its favor considering 90% of this game is about slaughtering orcs, with another 10% of finding the next place to slaughter orcs. You can knife them, chop their heads off, shoot them with a bow, unleash bees and wild animals on them, burn them alive, blink between them. Basically, imagine if Batman had a sword, a magical ghost body and no remorse. That would be Shadow of Mordor. It always feels so great to run a piece of steel through an orc. Despite that, however, the game doesn't have too much to offer, but in order to make slaughtering orcs even more fun, an army mechanic was introduced that actually gives you killing's purpose. You can dispose of captains, lieutenants and war chiefs with an ability to actually control and order them around closer to the end of the game. Each one of them has strengths and weaknesses for you to exploit to make the whole experience even more varied. If you get really immersed into it, you can do, well, whatever you want, toying with an orc army as you please, giving you pretty much a power trip. And this whole game is a power trip, to be fair. It is incredibly easy, so you'll hardly ever die. In 18 hours I died like 4 times, upon which it was also incredibly satisfying to hunt down and kill my murderer. The game totally allows that. But in general you can slaughter orcs by hundreds with no problem whatsoever. On higher levels it just becomes ridiculous to the point you can mount graugs and just stomp on people. It is incredibly easy, but it feels so good. The story... well, weirdly enough, I kinda don't wanna spoil it. It is not exceptional by any means, it's The Lord of the Rings, so you can't get more generic than this. But regardless, it is good. It is a Sigmarillion fanfiction more than anything else, but it offers an insight on the side of stuff that we have never seen before, so why the hell not? I would say one thing. At some point you meet the guy who helped Sauron make the rings, which is interesting just out on itself. The weakest parts of the story were... well, first the whole dead family thing. That's just... Can we please stop that? I'm tired of avenging deaths of people I've seen in the prologue for like 2 minutes. I'm sick of it. What I'm also sick of is romance with the only pretty female character in the game who you, of course, gotta rescue at some point. It becomes even worse considering the dead family thing, since the main guy is all like, I'm on a vengeance mission, but I would totally fuck this hottie if my ghost buddy wasn't looking. Just feels out of place. The dwarf hunter part was kinda shit as well. He comes out of nowhere, has 3 tutorial missions on stuff that you have done before like 100 times, and disappears without a trace, just becoming another dwarf cliché that Lord of the Rings can't live without. My biggest complaint, however, is the ending. It is disgustingly bad. Not in terms of the story, the events that go down are quite epic, but you kill the final boss in a QT with like 5 button presses. The fate of the world was decided in a QT. Feels like the game just bitch slapped me. It is literally the worst thing that could happen. And you could do so much with the boss, it's not even funny. We could have had an epic fucking battle, and we had this piece of shit. Even Viking Battle for Asgard's final boss was better. Seriously, and Viking Battle for Asgard is one of the worst games I've ever played. Overall, I've enjoyed the journey to the terrible ending so much I can totally recommend the game. It kills time and it does it perfectly. It is a great example of a simple game that can be turned into a great thing just by concentrating on the core mechanic and polishing it to the point it becomes exactly what you imagine it to be. It is a great power trip, great dive into the Middle Earth before the last Hobbit movie, and a great orc killing simulator, so check it out! And thanks for watching, guys. The name is GrrrVahrrr, and I shall see you from within my next video.